ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. I begin with a beautiful story from a famous writer, Ivan Turgenev. The story goes like this. There was a village and there was a man who is considered as very unwise in that village. So whatever he says, everyone used to belittle him and rebuke him and also laugh at him for all the trivial things. So this man was deeply hurt and approached a sage who was passing through the village at that time. So he asked the sage that he want to end his life as everybody belittles him, insults him and all that. So he asked the sage either to give his blessings to end his life or give him some advice, some kind of solution to his problem. Then the sage told him, it's a very simple matter, you can do like this. So he told the man that at whatever the others say, simply criticize that whatever they say. And he also told him not to be assertive in whatever he says on any issue. And for example, somebody says sunrise is very beautiful. So you ask them, what is the authority with which you are telling that it is beautiful? What is the definition of beauty? How can you say it is beautiful? So like that, they say a woman is beautiful. You condemn it. In what way she is beautiful? How she is beautiful? All that. So whatever they say, you simply criticize, especially on the things which they cannot prove. See, there are certain things, valuable things in life and which everybody uses and which everybody does. That kind of things, but they want, if you want them to prove it, they cannot prove it. It is beyond definition. Like a woman is beautiful. How can they prove it? See, beauty varies from person to person, and with which eyes they are seeing. So like that it goes on. So they cannot prove it. It may be beautiful for them, for one person, and she may not be beautiful for the other, for their own reasons. So he gave this advice and told that man that he will return after 1 month and will meet him again. So this man started behaving as advised by the sage, duly criticizing the villagers at whatever they say. So the sage returned after 1 month, and this man met the sage and immensely thanked him for the miracle which the sage has done, because now everybody feels that he is a very wise man, and they started giving him respect, and not only that, they also started worshipping him for his wisdom. So then the sage told the man, it is not a miracle, it is a simple phenomenon. See, the invaluable things are indefinable. Love, truth, God, beauty, they are indefinable, beyond definition. They cannot be defined. So similarly, a greatest thinker of this century, G.E. Murray, he has written a book called Principia Ethica, the title of the book. So in that book, he has discussed only one issue, that is, what is good. What is good? Everybody says goodness, good and all that. So what is good? How do you define the good? So on that topic, he has written that book. He has examined that from different angles and finally concluded that it is indefinable. It cannot be put into words, because while he was examining and analyzing from various angles, he observed that for your day-to-day, in your day-to-day life, there are so many general issues which we mention and deal with it. They are like morality, character, virtue, sin, badness, goodness. So for all these things, the fundamental thing is, first you have to know what is good. Unless this is defined and whatever you speak relevant on this goodness doesn't carry any kind of a validity. So, but the goodness, what is good is, and I mean, it cannot be defined, it cannot be put into any kind of words. So that's what he also said. So see, the everybody uses, and it is everybody's experience. For instance, let us take beauty. Beauty cannot be defined, it cannot be summarized in any kind of words. Suppose there are thousands of books written on this topic of beauty, and there are thousands of poets, and all they failed to define the beauty in words. So it cannot be, for instance, a rose flower is there and fragrance is, it spreads the fragrance. Lotus flower is there. So the first man who has seen the rose, the first man who has seen the lotus flower, does he not have any kind of feeling? Does he has not experienced that beauty? So this can be love, truth, God, beauty. You can feel it, you can taste it, you can live it, you can be it, you can experience it, but you cannot define it in words. So which we cannot put in words and which we cannot define is the experience, the feeling, and what you are living and what you are tasting, and whatever this kind of noble feelings, they are all indefinable. So Rabindranath Tagore, as you know, once he was on a river in a houseboat. He was reading a book on beauty. It was night and he was reading that book in a candlelight in his cabin. So he wanted to know what beauty is, and he is searching it in that book, in the words. So after reading for some time, it was late in the night, so he opened the windows of his cabin, and then the candle light was blown off with the winds which have gushed in. He could see the full moon and he could experience that moonlight, that beautiful and tremendous and moonlight was spreading all through his cabin through the windows. He has seen the stars, he has seen the moon, he has experienced that silence, he felt that beauty, and he wrote in his diary, "What a fool I am. I am searching for beauty in the words, whereas the beauty is all through knocking on the doors of my cabin, on the windows of my cabin, which I have closed to enable the candle to spread its light in that small cabin." So when I blew it out, when that candle light, when it blew it out, and I could experience the vastness and the infinity of the beauty and the silence. So that is the experience, and that is the feeling of any person, whether he has seen it for the first time or whether he has seen it at any time in his life. And when you ask him, when you ask such a man to define it, how can he define it? Because it cannot be defined, it is indefinable. So, the point here is, we are not living with the full potential of a human being, and our perception is all conditioned. It lacks clarity, it lacks purity. When the perception lacks that clarity, that purity, and that is that the stage where you fall into a deep valley of ignorance, ignorance of the existence, ignorance of the existence of merciful divinity, which always loves and takes care of you. Lack of awareness results in misery and suffering. So, in such situations, in such kind of state of living, how can we experience that all merciful divinity? You see, God is not a person. God is a symbol. He symbolizes in the creation. So, you can feel Him, you can taste Him, you can experience Him, but you cannot define that divine and noble and holy experience. Words fail to define it in any language and in any manner in the world. So, there was the state of a man is like this. Once there was an aeroplane in the jungles of Burma. That aeroplane was left by Japanese, who faced a defeat in the Second World War. So, the tribals who were there in the jungle have seen that aeroplane. As you know, the tribals will have no opportunity to see any kind of a vehicle in their life. They know only the bullock cart. So, because of the wheels of the aeroplane, they thought that it was a bullock cart. So, at this stage, a hunter from a nearby village has entered into the jungle and has seen the tribals using the aeroplane as bullock cart. So he told them that it is not a bullock cart, it is a bus, because he used to work in a transport service in that village. He knows, he has seen the cars and buses. So he says, it is a bus. If we can pour the petrol into it, it will move on its own. So he went, brought a petrol, and also brought a mechanic to put it on the wheels. Then the mechanic, who has seen even the aeroplanes in the sky, told them that it is neither a bullock cart nor a bus, but it is an aeroplane. It has got wings and it can fly in the sky. And the villagers, the tribal, have asked, have told the mechanic that it is a bird because it is having two wings. It is a steel bird. Then the mechanic has said, yeah, it is a bird, it has got two wings and it can fly in the air. So man is not a bullock cart, man is not a physical phenomena or material phenomena as he thinks. Man can exist in many more dimensions than physicality. He has got wings of discrimination and wisdom. Unless he lives to the full of his potential, he cannot realize his own potentiality and resurrect those wings of discrimination and wisdom. So he can fly in the infinite joy and bliss of the existence once he realizes his connectivity to the divinity. He can enjoy and he can dwell in higher dimensions of that unalloyed joy and bliss. And he can realize himself as to the source from which he has come. That source is all merciful, powerful, and joy, and a source of bliss, of flowing wisdom. So every man is a unique. Every man has got that wings of joy and happiness, and behind the faculties of discrimination and wisdom. So feel that you are the creation and a divine child. No thorough knowledge of all the things existing in the world is necessary to be joyful and blissful. We are all conditioned to think that unless we adopt certain kinds of pattern of living, which is full of rituals and all that, one cannot realize the God. But the mystic is the one who has realized the God, who has realized the godliness in existence, and who has been living in that mystical experience of godliness. He is the one who dispels your age-old perceptions and makes you to realize the glimpses of the divinity manifesting in your life, in your day-to-day life. I want to share a real example for this proposition, for this realization. See, there was a family of three: father, mother, and a son. So the son has got a admission into a reputed called university overseas in a different country, and the son want to pursue his higher studies in that university. The lonely son, the kith and kin of the parents, everybody filled them with fear that if he goes, he will not come back, and you are having only one son, how can you send him abroad, and all that. So the parents, though they got immense love towards son, because of the attachment, biological attachment, and the likely estrangement, they got worried, and they were in a fix whether to send him abroad or not. So fortunately they were able to meet a master, a mystic master, who is an incarnation of full love, wisdom, and divinity. So they asked him, this is the position, only one son, so shall we send them, or not. We want your advice. Then he dispelled the ignorance of the parents with one sentence. The boy to whom you have given birth has given so much joy and happiness. In fact, he has filled your life with happiness, with joy. Because when he is born, you are elated. When he is walking, you are elated. When he is telling little words, you felt very happy and all that. So, in so many ways, he has given so much joy, immense happiness. And now the boy has grown up and he wants to pursue his higher studies abroad. Coming in the way of his pursuing of higher studies and stopping him from his career as prospects, does it not amount to selfishness on the part of you as parents? Are you supposed to do this when you say you have got so much love, but that love now is covered with all your selfishness? The very moment, at that moment, the ignorance of the parents has been dispelled with that single sentence of the master. See, nobody, the so-called well-wishers or others, could not dispel their ignorance. Only a mystic, a master, could dispel that ignorance. So, the presence of the master, the presence of the master is a divine presence. This is whatever he shares it with all love and experience, and it is very practical to follow or to implement whatever the teaching of the master. So, thank you.